Hey gang, we're back. All right, so I want to give a couple quick shout outs. We had some awesome quarterfinals athletes compete this past weekend. Devin Johnson, Coach Carlos, Coach Courtney, Coach Kelly, Emily Crone. You guys rocked it. Those workouts were so spicy. You guys took on the challenge. You gave it hell. I'm super proud of you guys. Now, in a couple of weeks, we've got Jill Caravaggio. She's competing in the Masters. So Jill, keep working. And we'll get after it in just a couple weeks here, right? Now, with the Open coming to an end and quarterfinals, this is kind of the time of year where a lot of us have put ourselves to the test, and we've seen some of our strengths, but we've also seen maybe some of our weaknesses. And we all kind of should be reflecting on, well, what do we want to work on for this year? And some of you, I've even had those conversations this past week or so of like, oh, I almost made quarterfinals. I'd love to make it next year. Cool. Let's make a plan for that. Don't just let it accidentally maybe happen or not, right? Let's look at the things that maybe you know you need to work on and make a little bit of a plan for them. So if you need help making a plan, come and talk to your coach. You can talk to me, any of the coaches. We're happy to help you. But keep this in mind. When making a plan, you have a year. You need to get started now and think small amounts each week throughout the entire year. That way you're not cramming and panicked. And most likely cramming and panicked training is not your best training, right? So an example, last year, at the end of last year's quarterfinals, I could see that a big hole in my game for my personal goals was actually my ring muscle ups, right? I was not stringing as many as I kind of needed in order to be where I wanted to be. So last year at the end of quarterfinals, I decided that every Monday for the next year, I was going to take 5 minutes to work on them. In my head, I actually called it Muscle Up Monday every Monday. And I took 5 minutes. And some days when I felt like a rock star, I would work on stringing sets of ring muscle ups together. And other days, if I wasn't necessarily feeling so much like a rock star, I still worked on them. 5 minutes. Sometimes I would work on like low ring transitions. Some days I would work on my ring dips just to like build some strength and confidence on the rings. But every Monday, 5 minutes. And it showed big time in my game this year with the Open, right? And so it's just sprinkling it in, but keeping that sprinkle consistent throughout the year, right? So think about that. Is there 1 or 2 movements that you want to kind of work on? Okay, pick 1 or 2 days throughout the week and give them just 5 minutes at a time. If you need help figuring out what to do, absolutely. Come chat with a coach. We're happy to kind of give you a little bit of a progress plan for that. Now, with that said, you need to hold yourself accountable. And that's where small amounts work best, right? This is not, I'm going to do 2-a-days for the next 6 months and crush myself. No, this is, I'm going to give it 5 minutes once a week, but you're going to do it all year long. And that is going to create way more progress, and your body will be much happier for it, right? So if you need help with that, let us know. But let's start thinking about that now and make a little plan for it, right? All right, so a couple things coming up. Speaking of skills, later this week, Thursday, 5:30. Remember, we've switched that class up. Instead of it always being barbell, and we're going to mix it up with some skills classes as well and some specialty things. So last week we had snatch that we worked on. This week, Coach Kelly is doing a skills class on double unders. So if you know that jump rope is one of the things that you need to work on, come to the skills class. Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Now we are mixing it up. You'll start seeing some workshops on those days as well. I know Dr. Kelly Yates, one of our members who comes in the afternoon. She's a physical therapist with Rehab to Perform. She's holding a workshop coming up. I think it's on the 28th, so the following week. And that is on foot pain. And a big part of it is going to be like plantar fasciitis. A lot of people suffer with that. What is it? Why does it happen? Where is that foot pain coming from? And a lot of people start to feel it this time of year when people start running again. So if that's speaking to you, then let's make sure we get that on our calendar, right? But for this week's skills class is going to be Thursday, 5:30, double unders. Last thing. Weather's starting to turn. This is time of year when the weather starts to get warmer and the sun is out longer, people start to come out of the woodwork. And so when it comes to getting started at the gym, as you guys know, we have an intro program, 30-day intro called Roots, right? That's what we start everyone with. Now, some of you had mentioned to me and some of the other coaches that you have some friends that are interested, or maybe even family members. They need to start in our Roots program. Our next session starts next week. We usually do it about once a month, right? So if you have someone, family member, friend, who is interested in getting started, their chance is next week. March 28th is when it starts, right? They can go on the website, odincrossfit.com, and they can fill out the form. It's just their name, phone number, email kind of thing. They can see all of the Roots dates on our Getting Started page. But if they want to get started next week in our next session, absolutely encourage them to register or at least fill out the form so that I can be in contact with them. And if they can't make it next week, then they can be on the list for our next one, right? But share that information with them, right? Just send them to the website and we'll get them all hooked up. But like, let's get them in, right? The weather's starting to turn. Like, we want them in when the gym is warm and it's fun. And I mean, it's fun every day, but you get what I'm saying. So let's get those people in for our next Root session. Cool. So I hope you guys have an awesome week, and let's get after it.